We're here to talk about and share some of the things that our students have done. This project started with an outreach program for the state of Alabama to make everyone aware of our 200th anniversary of the state. And so they started out with schools that could apply for Alabama 200 Bicentennial School. So you can do that by applying online, and they'll send you this nice little flag, and you get a letter saying thank you for applying and things like that. But when you read on down a little further, they're going to have a competition from all the different schools to create a community outreach program. And you submitted a proposal. It could be anything you wanted to do, our ideas, what best suited us, but to get the kids out in the community and let them know the history of Alabama and things like that. So we met with the Collinsville Historical Association and the museum, and talked with members of the Cemetery Association, and they asked us to do something with the cemetery that would basically make a list of, well, it started out, let's update the list of the people who were buried here from this point to this point. They needed that gap filled. But we went a little bit further with it. And when I wrote the grant, I decided that we could do some ancestry research and on the lineage of the people here, and not only add the people that weren't already on the list that we had. I think the book that I started with only went to 2,000, so there was a big gap. Anyway, we submitted our ideas to the state, and we became a Alabama Bicentennial High School of Excellence. And we got this letter from the governor, and it's signed by her, and but that was an honor to get that from the governor. And we had to complete our project with a timeline from the beginning of the year all the way till August the 1st, when it's due for submittal. Only 4 schools in each congressional district were chosen for this competition, and we made it to that point. And once we submitted, all of those will be judged. And if we can win, we get to go down and shake hands with the governor and get recognized. So that would be really awesome. But my main benefit from this is what we've learned as a class about history, about the state of Alabama, our local history and community, and the people here that make this place tick. So with all of that said, we've had over 240 students involved with this project. But these are some wonderful ones that are dedicated and willing to come and tell you from their standpoint what all that they've done. And I'll let them speak, and then I may come back and talk a little bit at the end. So.
My name is Sarah Patton. I'm a senior here at Collinsville. And this semester I had Mr. Cole for Economics and Government, and we got to record and go on Ancestry.com and look up people in the cemetery and put more people into the database for this project.
I'm Katie Plunkett. I'm also a senior, and like Sarah said, I was in economics with her, and we looked up the people in the cemetery and wrote down different information like spouses and just different things like that. It was cool.
I'm Garrett Cantrell, a junior at Collinsville. With them, I all had Mr. Cole for Government and Economics. But I also did English 12, and with English 12 we wrote a little fictional story about a given person we found in the cemetery. We had to imagine what they were like during a specific time and day. Stories about a Jesse Oliver Jones, born May 1880. The story that we did was possibly he was in World War I, and we imagined what his last day in the war, just before the surrender, would have been like. Being over there in the no man's land, figured that it probably has some thoughts going back about home.
Okay, so most of the classes in Mr. Cole's at the beginning of this project, they were brought up here and they surveyed the cemetery and they took pictures of each grave and they were uploaded to Google Classroom. And then we had, for this project, we had to apply to Ancestry.com for a classroom grant so we could access the online records for the cemetery. And then we had a state archivist come to the school, and we had a training here, and we were trained on how to use Ancestry.com. And we had during that, we had snacks from Miss Chandler.
It wasn't just snacks, but they were to represent Southern culinary heritage. So Southern cuisine and the things that we have traditionally eaten here in the South. And we've got it written down in the presentation about, but they're actually looking at the presentation that we made that we're submitting to my governor right now. So, but they've got notes and stuff. But we used the team that Miss Chandler had trained for the culinary arts and as a health and hospitality, and they're the ones that prepared the snacks. And then before we ate, we had the state archivist there, and then they explained why we had the different types of food that we had. So that, with that said, this project is not just about history, and he's already mentioned English pitching in, and they did the life narratives of the people in the community, and then we included the home ec and the hospitality and the culinary. We've got projects, and y'all might talk more about this, but we had math classes, extrapolate the data from our database after we put it in, and figure out the average age and lifespan per decade of everybody here from when it started, and they learned at the average and the mean and the median and the mode, and they covered math standards. We had science classes, investigate the number of infant deaths by decade, and then investigate the reasons why maybe so many babies died during this time period. Maybe it's the flu epidemic of 1919 or something like that, and or it could have been the poor access to health care and things up to a certain point. And then you can see once you do graphs and look at the data how it gets better up into the present. So we had the English classes already talked about. And even our cinematography class, we have a team that videos our sports events and school events and puts it up on our YouTube channel where we can watch it at school. And you might want to talk about it a little more about that. But you see the video in the bag. We're even including the cinematography. So anything from home ec, English, math, science, up to cinematography and everything else. So we're trying to reach all across the curriculum here. So.
In our class, we got paired up into groups of 2, and we got assigned 20 people to look up. So we split it like each person. And each person was worth 15 points, so it ended up being like a 300-point grade. And we just researched everything, and then at the end we put it into the database. And like the math class, they created the charts and the data. And English class, they wrote the stories. And the anatomy class, they tried to figure out what could have caused the infant deaths. And to do all this, it took a lot of technology. You had to use Chromebooks, iPads, desktops, scanners and printers, phones, cameras, and Google Classroom, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Sites, Gmail, and do all research.
And then the research website, ancestryclassroom.com, familysearch.org, findagrade.com. So there's some stuff out there that's free and some stuff we were able to get the grant for and get free access to.
CPN, Collinsville Panther Network, is a new program that we started last month. Trying to get people interested in filming in the industry. Thus, I can't remember using to film this project.
That we created a website that's public access now that has our research database of all the people in the cemetery now that we have down and researched. And in this database, for each person, she's going to tell you what we looked up for each person, and we all have it in this spreadsheet, and it's posted online now.
Their birth and their death date, their number and name, birthplace, migration, spouse, family size, boys or girls, occupation, religion, education, military service, civic organizations, cause of death, and others.
Question. How many graves are in the cemetery?
There's well over 1,400, I believe, at this time. Yeah, I'm going to say right at 1,400 because when we put in that list that we started with from 2000, it was well over 1,000, and then we had boots on the ground just adding the ones in as we could, and I don't have an exact number, but it's gonna be between 13 and 1400. I think this will serve an example to other schools, because every school has a cemetery close by, and I really hope that they can take up the same type. It doesn't have to be for the Bicentennial State of Alabama project, but we've learned so much across the curriculum, and it helps out the community. I think this is something we can take to every school in the county and let them do something. And then if we lead in the county, we take it to the state and see.
Now, is this just gonna be going on for 1 year?
Yes, ma'am. We had our initial meeting at the museum here in town last May at the end of school. And then we started in August, as soon as we started back, and just worked on it. The award ceremony in Montgomery is in December on the actual bicentennial of the state of Alabama. But whether we get that or not, we're going to continue on next year and keep improving, adding to it, making it better. Anything that we can improve, make better, add to it, we're going to continue to do it